Hi, welcome back to Dress to Quest. I'm Nathan, and I am the DM here, and you are joining us on Gen Con TV. We are a D&D actual play live stream with an emphasis on cosplay, and we're playing in the Ghosts of Saltmarsh setting at level 9, and there's some crazy stuff happening right now, which we will find out about shortly. But first, let's jump over to some player intros, starting with Chris.
Hi everybody, I'm Chris and I play Ayize Marley, the former Ayize Marley, a Termesian human wizard of the Order of the Scribe, and that will be also etched on his tombstone. Anyhow.
Yes, indeed. And next up, we have Eric.
No one listened to me. I said we were all gonna die. Ironically, I'm the only one left at the moment. Glum, he's a battlesmith artificer, and he's got his back to the wall trying to bring his buddy Rin back in one piece, albeit that she's semi-dead already.
Yes. Next up, we have, speaking of which, we have Erica.
Only mostly dead. So, I'm Erica. I play Rin Swiftbow, Beastmaster Ranger. And normally every game she summons a falcon named Bert, but unfortunately he's not here with us, and you'll soon learn why.
Yeah. And last but not least, we have Space.
Oh, that was funny. Hey guys, I'm Space. I play Aspen, or formerly recently deceased Aspen, the resident sorceress. So, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Well, with all of that, all those intros done, let's jump right back into it. So, let's do as quick of a recap as I can and then get right into the action. So, last we left off, our heroes went into the lair of Skulthka, this temple to Tharizdun, deep within the low quarter of the Styes. A massive battle commenced within the temple as you fought off cultists and these strange lobster-like creatures known as Chul that came up from under the floorboards, pulling some of you down into their underwater lair. As the fight raged on, Skulthka, the aboleth, revealed himself from the muck and the gloom and started to tear into you all. He seemed to know you all by name and your histories, and specifically fixated on the very dangerous Ayize, and tore Ayize to shreds, bringing Ayize down and dead for good. As Rin tried to help with Bert, her summon companion, fending off Cherry, the water elemental that Ayize had summoned and now lost control of in his death, Bert was as well taken from this world with a single swipe of the elemental, and Cherry emerged up top to confront your companions, Rin. Next came Aspen. Aspen, as you stood there trying to fight off Skulthka the Aboleth, you as well were crushed under the tentacles and brought low, eventually succumbing to death. Leaving only Rin and Glum standing, Rin fled into the shadows, diving beneath the waves, trying to find a way of escape, and ended up in an underwater stairwell that spiraled down, down, down. Glum, meanwhile, was fending off the water elemental up top, while Scott, the construct Scotty dog, was dragging the limp and lifeless bodies of Ayize and Aspen up and out of the lair somewhere, hopefully to safety. As Rin fled, Skulthka pursued. Rin, you heard his voice echoing in your mind as he pursued you, and eventually you came into a large room filled with what appeared to be some sort of eggs, human-sized eggs, plastered to the walls of this large sunken chamber, which appeared to be another sunken temple to Tharizdun, with a abyssal pit far off to the left, this massive pit dropping off into the darkness, surrounded by runes pulsing with a dim greenish blue light. And you attempted to hide amongst the muck and eggs, but Skolthka spotted you, took you, and started to slowly but surely transform you into one of his minions. Meanwhile, Glum, pursuing after Skolthka, found his way down into the dark, came around the corner into this large chamber to see Rin plastered to the wall, and ended up in a fight directly one-on-one with Skolthka as Skolthka tried to claim Rin for his own. So, that is where we left off. Yes, good dog. So, let us pick up here as Glum. It looks like we left off with the start of your turn. I honestly can't remember if we did your turn or not. I don't think we did.
I don't recall.
Okay, then we'll start with your turn. So, as
Then
we...
I definitely didn't recall.
Yeah, I should have done a quick recap, but oh, the big fight Glum hadn't gone yet. Thank you, Scottish Jeff, and thanks for letting me know. Perfect. Yeah, I should have done a quick little watch of last episode, but you know, life gets in the way. So, kicking us off, Glum, you find yourself there with Rin in your arm. She is much bigger than you, being a small gnome, so she's kind of like, luckily you're underwater, so she's a bit more buoyant, but you have her clutched there, kind of limply drifting at your side, and you have your hand crossbow out, and in front of you is this massive form of Skolthka, many eyes peering at you through the darkness, with the tentacles writhing out on either side of the fish-like body of Skolthka. And you can hear the voice of Skolthka piercing into your mind. I don't think you're getting out of here alive. Glum, it is your turn.
Of course. All right. I will go ahead and move 15 feet, which is half of my movement with haste, bringing Rin with me. So there's 15.
Okay. So you are swimming above this abyssal pit that's kind of looming below you.
Yeah. I've been prepared to die for years. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. Pew, 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 pew. Right, and then he fires off his barrage of 4 crossbow shots. And I use ChatGPT, and apparently I have a 68% chance of hitting at least once if he's sharpshooter. So I'm sticking with sharpshooter.
Okay.
There you go. And if I die, it's because of ChatGPT. First shot. Did it come out? It may have just been a window focus thing. Okay, try it again. There we go. 19.
19 just hits.
All right. So got some damage, baby. Thank God. 16 points.
Whew. Yep.
Number 2.
13 misses.
Okay. Shot number 3.
21 will
21.
hit.
Yes. 17 points. Pew pew.
Oh boy, Skolthka is looking real hurt as those 2 shots hit. No! No! So that was 3 shots. You have 1 more?
Nothing personal, except this is personal. And I miss. Pew.
The 9.
Thumbs up.
It glances through the water and sinks to the bottom as Skolthka starts to writhe backwards at the end of your turn. That's the end of your turn?
Yes.
Skolthka will use legendary action to do psychic transference, and I need you to make a wisdom save as you just suddenly hear this screeching wail in your head. No! Go ahead and roll that whiz save for me.
Yeah, my ears. Was it a 1?
That is a 1.
2 ones.
So you take
Yep.
12 points of psychic damage.
Down to
And
32.
Skolka regains that many hit points as you see some of the wounds sealing shut. No! Taking us to Skolka's turn. Skolka, using his immense speed, is going to back away from you, swimming through the muck. Let's see, still within 30 feet. Okay. Oh wait, actually, you know what? Sorry. Even though I played him all last session, I forgot about some of his abilities. He's just going to swim forward a touch as the tentacles come swinging out at you. Disadvantage, right? So 16 is the first one that misses. 20 is the next one.
22, because I faced.
Okay. Can you make a Constitution saving throw for me? That reminds me, because you are concentrating on the spell. You need to get a 10 or higher.
No problem. Got a 16.
16. Yeah, you succeed. Okay, next tentacle comes swinging in. Yeah, an 11. So misses. All of those miss, and Skolka, so moved. What was that? 5 feet forward. So Skolka's going to use the rest of his movement to move 45 feet back. And 55 feet. Is going to use his bonus action dash to swim away from you. Kind of disappearing out of your dark vision range. You watch as Skolka swims out of the big hole in the temple and goes out into the open ocean. I think that was about right.
And so he went to...
He went this way.
Okay.
So you just watch as the shadow disappears and you kind of hear in your head, try to keep up. All right. That was Skolka's turn. It is now your turn, Glum.
So I'll move 3, and then I'll drag Rune with me.
Okay. So it's
I
15 feet of movement.
I still don't see him, right?
If you don't see him on the map, then you don't see him.
Okay, cool. And then I'm going to go ahead and move 3 more. 1, 2, 3.
So just to be clear, he went this way. I just don't want to make sure you understand.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay.
This is towards the exit,
Yes,
right?
it is. Okay, cool. So awesome. So as you start to swim that way, dragging Rin along with you. So that was your movement and
And
bonus.
I finished to say, all I want is the girl.
Okay. Okay, you shout that out into the murky water. Was that just your movement and
That was my movement and my action to dash.
an action to dash? You are hasted though. Does that not give you
Yeah.
anything extra?
Well, I'm dragging her, so it's half movement.
Right. Okay, there you go. Okay, so you start to swim as fast as you can towards the exit. And you shout that out into the murky water. You hear Skolka's voice come back. Avalith being taken down by a gnome with a crossbow, indeed. You hear in your head the voice creeping back in. No, you're both mine. All right, so that was the first round. Hold on, I need to try to juggle a bunch of stuff here. All right, taking us to Skolka. So, as you hear that creeping into your mind, Skolka, let's see if Skolka can do this. 50 feet. Yeah. So Skolka, with 50 feet of movement, comes swimming with great speed back into the temple, bonus action dash to get a little further forward, and you watch Glum as out of the darkness, Skolka comes. There is a wake of silt that pushes forward from the massive body as the tentacles lash out towards you. All at disadvantage because you're a displacer cloak. So 22 to hit.
That will hit, and I will burn my... yeah, I will burn my last spell, my second level spell, unfortunately, for shield.
With a rattling, thunderous shake and flash of light, the shield deflects it. Actually, what does your shield look like as an artificer?
So it basically, it's like an extension of my existing shield. Kind of extends around in a circle around me like a force
cool.
field.
So the shield expands outwards and what would have been 15 points of damage is deflected by that shield spell. Skolka, that was Skolka's first attack. Here comes the second two. And that still wasn't considered a hit because of the shield spell?
Exactly, because he didn't hit me.
Okay. So 21 misses and a 19 will miss. And then Skolka will use the rest of bonus action to swim back out into the gloom. Taking us to Glum.
All right. Let's see. 5. 15. Oops, 15.
Okay.
First bring in Rin with me. And, let's see. I believe the best course of action for me now, because I'm around the corner,
Yes.
right? So you can't see me. So I'm going to hold my action to unleash a barrage if he comes in range.
Understood. Okay.
And I go, I only want the girl!
Gotcha. Let me check something here. Oops. Okay, so Glum, you swim around the corner, pulling Rin with you, twirling around to face the door with your crossbow up and ready. And you hear in your head, "Oh, I see what you're doing now. Very well." Let's see. Skolka has a couple of spells. Sorry, I did not have this spell ready. I need to look it up. I know, riveting, exciting, thrilling.
Is the wish spell? I can bring that up for you.
Oh, yeah. That would be great. If you can give me the specifics on how wish works. He wishes you out of existence.
Get in line.
Okay, what about this one? Ooh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, he'll shoot this at you. So you are behind cover. His dark vision is much greater than yours, so he can see you hiding there. Let's see. And I believe you can just barely make out a shape moving in the gloom 60 feet over that way. It is 60 feet away though, and
I'm not gonna fire.
yeah,
obviously.
doing underwater combat, you know that your
They're
bolts
good.
won't make it. But as Skolka pushes over there into the gloom, you see kind of a this flash of light as something comes arcing through the darkness towards you. Let's see if Skolka can hit. That will be
He has to roll.
yeah.
As far as a magic missile or something.
21 to, oh wait, at disadvantage. Yeah, okay, an 8, so it does not hit as the bolt of energy shoots past you and slams into the wall. You can keep running, and I'll just keep following you. I can taste you. Alright, that was... Skulthka's going to move back out of sight into the gloom as Glum runs away. How long does haste last?
1 minute, so 10 rounds.
10 rounds. Okay. Glum, you are up.
All right, so let's see. Oops. Click. Oh, trying to click on me. My head. Move. There we go. Yeah. 1, 2. There we go. 3. Okay, so now I'm out of visual range, which is good. How far? So I've traveled down this way. How much of it is wind, etc., etc.?
Yeah, so you gauge about 200 feet to get all the way back up to the top. And then from there, you would have to travel an additional, probably 100 feet-ish to get out. Maybe a little less, maybe 75, 60. I would have to pull up the other map and take a look.
Okay.
So you got a ways up the stairs.
Yeah, so I guess my main question is how much of this is like straight shot versus curves and things, because line of sight's gonna be important, right? Like right now, he has to come all the way in and around the corner to see me.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the space I'm gonna be traversing to go back. If there are ways I can go around corners and stuff.
So we'll just use this section of stairwell as kind of for the whole thing, right? So it looks like, it kind of goes stairs for 15 feet, then a platform here, and then stairs for 15 feet, and then a platform.
Oh, good.
Stairs. So, yeah.
It's good. This is good for me then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Okay. Well, now it's going to come down to how badly he really wants me, because he knows now he's going to have to put himself in harm's way. I know he could get all the way up to me in one round already, even if I move a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and stay with what I was doing, which is I'm going to hold my action, point my crossbow, and I say, "I'm sorry, Rin, I tried." He's kind of like, now he's starting to get scared. His hands kind of, in addition to the haste, it's quivering extra quick. And I'm holding my action until I see him within 30 feet, in which case I will fire.
Okay, understood. Okay. Yeah, this is tricky, Glum. You got yourself in a good position.
Yeah, like I
Oops.
said,
Sorry.
it's all about how much he wants it, how much he hates me, how much he wants it, and
Oh, yeah,
any other
totally.
motivations he's got.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, interesting.
No, don't say that. I hate it when things are interesting.
You kind of hear the movement of water, sensing the movement of something large. So this 20 as something comes swimming into the room. And you can hear Skulthka's voice. All right, I can taste you. Let's finish this. And you watch as Skulthka comes peeling around the corner. You're holding your action?
Yep. So if I
Okay.
see him
Yep, you see Skulfka
What?
appear around the corner. The tentacles
Holy crap.
rise up. Go ahead and unleash your attack.
All right. There you go. Just rolling. Here we go. For the Shire! I think a 4 misses.
A 4 will miss.
And
Boom, against the
15
wall.
and I'll miss.
All of them miss. And that is when you realize you see the bolts with that last shot. They all look like they connect. But you don't see any blood being spurted, nothing happening, just Skulfka sitting there. Actually, you don't even hear that. You just see Skulfka with the tentacles rising up, and that's when you recognize the faint shimmer as the illusion fades, and then you feel the wake of water push past as the image fades and Skulfka comes swimming into view. Hello. So
Oh, hi, Mark.
that well, you know what? Ooh, that is a big risk. I just realized what he did.
Why? Because he used his action?
Hold on, let me think about this. Okay, yeah, I'll tell you what. You see that the image is clearly an illusion and fades. And that is what happens. But you just hear that cackle in your head of Skulfka.
Hey, Skothka. Did I mention I only want the girl?
Yes, you did.
Just checking. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
So 1, 2. Oh, luckily 3. Thank God for corners.
So dragging Rin along,
Yep. Same
getting
thing.
up and out of the corner. Man,
Well, I
this-
have one question. The
Yeah?
answer is 99% going to be no. I have like trinkets and things like little
Yeah.
doohickeys.
yeah.
So anyway, if I use an action, that I can create some kind of little propeller man that I could attach to Rin, and like it'll be slow, but Rin could like get back up to the surface.
Like the propeller would be like a little self-guided drone.
Yeah.
That's pretty extreme. In 6 seconds.
Also, it heals her as well.
I know. I like the thinking. What I would say here, well, I'll tell you. I'll give you this. If you want to use an entire action to tinker something in 6 seconds, I think getting it to have something that would guide her all the way up to the surface is pretty extreme. But if you succeed, and this would be a high DC, but if you succeed, you could move at normal speed because Rin will be aided by this propeller, right? Like, so you won't be having to pull as much of her weight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then you can move at like 30 feet instead of 15.
I
I would say if you get a natural 20, then I'll consider the maybe somehow you, with a stroke of genius in 6 seconds, you create something.
Man, this is a tough decision because if he comes around the corner to get a few good shots, he's either going to die or he's going to run away. So he sheaths the crossbow. He says, "I gotta try this."
Okay, awesome. So this is going to be an intelligence check plus you have tools, right? You're an artificer, so plus your proficiency bonus. So and I guess if you're using one of your tools, I would check your artificer stuff because I know with some artificers you get to double your proficiency bonus, like when using tools or something.
Tinker. Let's see what it says. Okay. Efficiency. Those. Okay, let me.
Let's Yeah,
Winchester does it.
let's just go with, for now, let's just go with adding your proficiency bonus.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna roll a d20 here. We're gonna add a total of proficiency of 4 and 3 for intelligence. So this plus 7.
Plus 7, okay. And 19. Okay.
So 26.
26! Oh my god. Okay, so you were very close to that natural 20 we were talking about, where I maybe would have considered something even more elaborate. But
here's my ask.
yeah,
So all Glum cares about is getting Rin out. If I can, instead of getting the full movement, I like to get something that would swim her out and turn into like a little miniature helicopter thing that will get her outside.
that would have been the natural 20. I'll tell you what, you can get a, with a quick, and you can tell me what this looks like. You quickly assemble something that will get her up to the surface, but not up onto the land, right? So her body will boom, appear up on the water somehow,
Right.
like on the surface of the water.
Yeah. The problem being, if I die, she's gonna just be sitting there. Although somebody could find her body, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
And it'll free up your hand so you can move at 30 feet.
Okay. Yeah, because now she has a chance.
Okay.
So I hooked a little propeller thing on her and stick on the back of her cloak and.
Awesome.
Better.
I think just to add a little more like realism, fantasy realism to this, I imagine that as you hook the propeller on, there's a little pop and kind of a flotation bag sort of
Yes.
fills up, causing her to lift up to the ceiling, and she's now kind of like dragging against the ceiling, but the propeller is pushing her along. And there's just a slight bit of your artificer enchantment on there that allows the propeller to pivot ever so slightly to get around the corners as she starts to go up and out of sight. So Rin's limp body is being dragged along the ceiling and up out of sight. As Glum, you sit there panting. And you let's see here. Yeah, I mean, this is very much a waiting game here as Skolthka comes slinking around the corner. You don't see Skolthka, you just kind of hear movement down below. And can hear the voice. Oh, I know what you're doing. You're going to try to wait me out. Well, you can play at that game. And Skolthka is just poised at the bottom of the stairs. You hear the movement and sense Skolthka kind of lurking down below. Let's see here.
It's been 5 turns now, right? This will be the 6th coming up.
Is this the 6th turn?
Let's see. So,
I thought this would be the
last
turn.
Last turn I had 1 shot.
Mhm.
I had 1 shot of 4 or 3 actually.
Mhm.
So that was last game was 1, and then I moved down and fired 2. Then I moved only.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I think this is 6. I think 6 is
6, yeah, 6 sounds right. Yep. You know what? We need to get it. We're really. This is the type of fight where we really need to track stuff like this. So
everything matters. Yeah.
it really does. So I need to pull out a tracker. So you said this is the 6th turn. That sounds right to me. So you have 4 turns left of haste.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Skolthka can't risk it, so I think, God, this is so tricky. Yeah, so you just hear this movement in the muck below. And yeah, as Scottish Jeff pointed out, it does seem as though Skolthka is he's a bit frightened of you, but is just trying to wait you out, trying to find whatever little tiny advantage that he can get against you. As you hear all that movement, and you kind of sense it in the voice, this nervous little laugh comes through every once in a while. A bit of desperation coming through, taking us back to your turn, Glum, leaving you with, let's see, now you have 3 rounds of haste left?
I haven't gone yet.
Oh, okay, so at the end of this turn, it'll be 3 rounds. Right, okay. Back to your
Okay.
turn, Glum.
Yeah, Scottish Jeff made a good example. Kind of like Sam in the tower in Lord of the Rings chasing down the orc.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can now move 30.
Correct.
So I will move 30.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will use an action to dash.
And are you going to be going up the stairs?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to set you here for now, but we know that you are starting to spiral up the stairs. As you're spiraling up the stairs, you sense that movement below and hear that voice continuing to creep in every once in a while. Just a bit longer, I think. Just a bit longer, and then I will have you. As you swim as fast as you can, dashing up the stairs, you feel that kind of movement of water from behind. And that's when you hear Skulthga's voice come through once more. No! No! This can't be! And the voice starts to fade as you hear from below kind of a sloshing of water and displacement of movement. I need to make a couple rolls here
Oh,
off screen.
I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, okay. There is some type of fight happening below. Let's see here. All right, Glum, what do you do? It is your turn.
I gotta get my buddy Rin out, and this is definitely now my chance. So I am moving and I am dashing with my action.
Okay, so you just continue to swim away.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as you swim away, that voice cuts out, and below you can just hear some thrashing of water and into stone as something is happening below you. There's a kind of a rumbling. I'm gonna do a couple of rolls off screen here to see what happens. Nice. Riveting, I know, everybody, but there is something happening below, and I want to see how this resolves. Okay. Oof. Oh my god. Is that right? Oh no. Okay.
Those of you guys that want to watch this battle, it's on the alternate Twitch channel right now.
All right. There is something happening below you, Glum. Rumbling, and one final. As you hear one final. No, I see you. My baby! And one final smash as the walls shake and dust kind of drifts down. And Glum, you sprint with all your might, swimming up to the surface until eventually you come out of the dark stairwell and up through the underwater tunnel and breach the surface into the Temple of Therazune, where you can see Rin's limp body just gently floating there on the surface. What do you do, Glum?
Don't just lay there. Let's go. And I pick her up.
Okay, you pick her up
What?
and start to move just as haste fades from you, and you feel yourself have a full moment of just having to stand there recovering from the intense magic leaving you.
Yeah.
You can still see, as you're standing there looking up, panting in this room, all of the cultists that are currently stuck in the web on the wall, and all of the dead bodies surrounding you. As you catch your breath and look up, you see them standing there, all of these people of various different origins and species, all standing there stuck to the web looking at you, panting, and you start to see their faces become a bit slack and confused as they look around and start to be filled with fear and trying to pull themselves free from this web that is holding them to the stone. You see one of them, what looks to be an elf, a younger elf, look up at you. Help! Please help! As they're all trying to break free from this web spell.
I'll raise an eyebrow. Can I do insight or something to see if I believe they're trying to fake me out?
Oh, that's a good point. How long? Web is a concentration spell. How long does web last?
No,
for?
no, it's not.
It's
It's not. It lasts for like an hour.
An hour. Okay, awesome. Yeah, make an insight check.
Let me triple check since it was the wizard that pointed this out. So on. But it said it lasts an hour, so I'm 99% sure it's just a fire and forget. Come on. All the windows. I need like 3 computers. Go on. So, guys, I just want to be accurate here.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So let's boom. What do we got?
1 hour. Yeah.
This
It
is
is.
concentration.
It is a concentration spell, though, so I
Yes.
guess it would have dropped at this point. Okay, that is a very good point. So then instead, you come up and you see the room filled with dead bodies, and you just see all those people that were being held by the web. The web there's still like bits of residual web kind of clinging to them, but it is started to sort of dissolve and fade away. But you see them sort of stunned there, rubbing their heads, looking confused, looking scared. You see some people trying to stumble out of the room. You see others crawling over to some of the limp dead bodies and like picking them up and trying to shake them awake. You see these people are in chaos and disarray right now, trying to make sense of what they are standing in.
Okay, yeah, there's no way they're all faking me out then. All right, first, on my bow, as I'm valiantly trying to hold Rin up. Luckily, she's an elf and not a human, but I say, "You're free. I need 2 of you now."
Make a persuasion roll.
Oh my gosh. Not his forte. Go. I think 15.
A 15. Thanks, Scottish Jeff. That's really sweet of you. A 15. You what do you say exactly to them?
I need 2 of you. Help me take the girl up and out of here.
Okay. You see 2 individuals sort of blinking away the haze in their minds, spotting you and then seeing Rin lying there, and they rush to your aid and kind of, oh, yes, and help pick you up as you start to sort of carry her out of this temple. With a bit of effort, you have to navigate the hole in the floorboards, jumping over the pit below, and eventually you push open the door out into the evening air of the styes. The fresh air sort of, well, somewhat fresh. It is still the styes, so it is a bit polluted and mucky smelling, but still there's that cold air that washes over you as the doors open and you see the tangled mess of shanties before you. And you have Rin standing out there on the deck of that abandoned galley that was used as the entrance to this building. And you see standing out on the bow next to the little footbridge that goes across the way, sort of panting in this odd mechanical way, the big lumbering Scott with the two limp bodies of Aize and Aspen at his side as he kind of...
Scott, we did it!
And Scott comes loping up next to you and pushes his head up into your chest.
This one's not dead. She's only mostly dead.
And indeed, Glum, as you look down, you can see that her skin has become very translucent. You can see all the veins kind of underneath, just under the skin. These, dark kind of tendrils going out throughout her jawline and down through her neck. And her skin seems kind of slick, not just from the water. There's sort of a slight viscosity to it.
Well, at least she's not dead. All right. I'm going to continue to utilize those two people and ask them to help us get back to the what's the name of that tower that we were at earlier?
Oh, you want to go to Thornwell's tower?
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't. It may have a name. I don't have it on hand, but yeah, Thornwell's tower. Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
Glum, using these two people offering you aid, you sort of limp and hobble your way through. I mean, are you pretty beat up?
Yeah, I have, I think, 21 hit points. Let me check.
Wow. Okay.
It's in the 20s, yeah.
Okay, so you are feeling pretty beat up and have depleted all of your resources at this point as you start to hobble your way through the styes, winding your way through with these two individuals. You definitely get people that take a moment to kind of look and see you going through the streets with a bunch of limp bodies, but it's the styes. Nobody stops you. People seem to just... you wave at some individuals. Some individuals, they quickly scurry about their way. Others kind of cock a smile at you and just give a brisk nod as they go back off into the city. But pushing your way through, you eventually find yourself standing at the foot of Thornwell's tower, this obsidian-like tower rising up before you, sort of, I believe I said it was very squat in its design, kind of a mixture of dwarven and human architecture. And you see the guards standing there who immediately snap to attention and kind of bar the way and look at you very, with a very concerned expression as this older woman steps forward. What's going on here? May I help you? Is everything all right?
Skothika's dead, and so are my friends. Let us in. We need help.
Who the hell's Skothika?
Just let us in.
You have an appointment with Thornwell?
Tell Thornwell it's the mighty Glum.
She sort of leans over and gives a nod to the guard next to her, who opens the gate and scurries inside. There's a tense couple minutes here as you kind of stand there at the gate, the woman staring you down as you stand there with all of these limp bodies. You see her continuing to tighten her grip around her spear until eventually you hear the front doors open, and you see the guard standing there waving to the other one. She kind of, all right. She opens the gate and files in behind you as you are led inside into the big grand foyer of the Thornwell's tower. You can see at the back the 2 staircases spiraling up to the balcony where Thornwell first entered out of, and on either side are the massive oil portraits lining the walls of the various family members of the Thornwell family. And you see, standing at the back of the room at the base of the 2 stairs is Thornwell. Let me find my NPCs. Oh shoot, where did I put that? There we go. Yeah, you see the kind of shorter human woman with the glossy, deep brown hair that's starting to gray at the temples. It's pulled back into a half ponytail and falls to her shoulder blades, and she has these kind of hawk-like golden eyes. She's very kind of stout and muscular as she stands there looking at you. Yeah, that's right. And she also has this well-groomed kind of mustache, very soft mustache above her lips as she sort of strokes it and looks at you as you enter, cocks her head as you approach, sees the bodies there. I don't remember what she sounded like, so we're just going to go with a voice and go with it. But she looks at over all the bodies. I see one of you made it back. What have you got for me?
Well, Skothka's gone. Dead.
Brilliant. And did you find any evidence about the Lantern Ghost Killer?
One thing at a time. My friends, they need help. These 2 are dead. This one, in some ways, worse. I need a cleric, a good one. The best you got.
Indeed. She kind of strides, circling you like a predator, her boots sort of clicking against the stone as she looks down at the limp bodies and then looks at you kind of over the bridge of her nose. Do you have proof of this Skothka's death?
You want to come with me? I'll show you.
That's quite
These
alright.
people-
I can send some folks to wherever you may have gone to investigate.
Over in the slums. I can draw you a map.
Perfect. And she kneels down as you sketch out a map for her and tell her exactly where it was. She stands up, kind of straightens herself. Just a moment, please. And she strides over to what appears to be a bust of one of the family members that are also strewn throughout this room, and kind of leans down towards its ear and starts to whisper something. After a moment, she straightens up and goes striding back over to you. Glum, you ever so faintly hear kind of whiz past your head this of flapping wings. But looking around, you see nothing. She stands there, crosses her arms. We'll just have to wait a moment. Wait for me to get some confirmation on your story. She gestures over to a small table at the back with a couple of chairs set up. Would you like to make yourself comfortable while we wait?
In the meantime, when you get the news, let's talk about what's going to happen. This one.
I like you. Straight
is
to
one of the-
business.
Yeah, well, these are my friends, and I don't have many friends. In fact, these are my friends. Because my other friend's dead now, too. But this elf, she was a mighty slayer at the Sahagan Fortress. She freed Saltmarsh. So did these 2. But look at her. Skothka's got her with some kind of evil magic. We gotta stop it before it's too late. And then you gotta bring my friends back. So when you find out Skothka's dead, you got to bring him back. It's only fair.
She looks over Rin's body, kind of leans down, gives a sniff, gently places a hand on Rin's cheek, and as she lifts her hand away, there's some slime that kind of clings to it. And you can start to see that Rin's skin is kind of, albeit translucent, you can see in certain areas it's starting to flare up like a bright red, like a rash. And in her kind of unconscious state as she lies there, you can see her sort of wincing in pain as Thornwell stands up and kind of rubs her fingers together, the mucus between her fingers. She looks down at you. Oh boy, this is going to take quite a bit to get rid of.
Chris is saying that I've seen this before.
This is similar to what Oceanus had, but this seems to be far more severe. Oceanus was struggling to breathe air and had a bit of slime, but I don't remember if his skin turned translucent. If it did, it was not to the degree that it has turned for Rin. Rin's skin is very translucent, and there is this consistent layer of slime that has formed over her skin, and her skin is flaring up red in parts. Thornwell looks down at you.
So do I remember soaking in water that was something that would keep it tempered, similar to Oceanus?
Yeah, it did help Oceanus, soaking Oceanus in water.
I think we need to get her in water, at least to start.
Oh, indeed you do. Otherwise, she's going to start to dissolve on my floor here, which I wouldn't like very much. She snaps a finger, and you see in the balconies above, there's a couple of folks kind of standing at the ready, and she looks up at one of them as she snaps, "Fetch us a pail of water." And they give a brusque nod and sort of dart away into the shadows. She turns back to you. "This, I'm afraid, is going to take quite extensive magic to heal, far beyond my capabilities. And as for your other two friends, well, same deal there, I'm afraid. It will require quite a bit. I do know one person that could help with this, but I would like to make an arrangement, a deal, if you will, if you wish to have your friends brought back."
What do you want? My joke collection?
No. I want your mind and your prowess. You clearly are one to not be underestimated. I can write you a letter that will guarantee that your friend will be healed and your other two friends will be brought back. But you will serve me. You will work for me until this debt is paid. Do you understand?
Do I get free lunches?
My dear, yes, of course. And you will be welcome at any lavish gatherings that I hold. I would love to have you at parties. You can...
If you guarantee that my friends come back, nothing else matters. My life has now had purpose.
Good. Let me draft something up. And she gestures back to the chair. "Please, make yourself comfortable." And she twirls away and heads up the stairs towards that back door.
Okay, he stays by his friends, so he doesn't really sit down. He's basically kind of checking on them and adjusting them.
Okay.
Look a little more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Looking a little more glum.
Yeah, that's just, so that they're not looking like corpses. They're looking a little more presentable.
Oh, okay. So he's kind of helping to
Only
arrange
their
them.
arms are
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. So Glum, you're kind of kneeled down there in this grand foyer and arranging them so that they are more respectable and not just ragdolled onto the floor. As you do that, carefully kind of getting them all set up, after about 15 minutes or so, you hear very faintly that fluttering of wings above your head, but looking around you see nothing. And you kind of hear what sounds like the doors upstairs sort of creak open ever so slightly, and then kind of close. Another 10 minutes go by of just standing in this foyer in silence. The periodic sound of someone clearing their throat as you look around and notice that you are surrounded by guards just on the various balconies on either side, just watching all of this carefully. Eventually, 10 more minutes pass and you hear the door open above. And hear the distinctive sound of Thornwell's boots down the stairs until eventually she comes around the corner and faces you. You made quite a mess over there in Low Quarter. I was informed that there was quite a massacre to be found. I'll send some official guards that way to investigate and make sure that we clear it all up, but I was informed that there was quite a bit of iconography and things that indicated cult activity. There was also indication of some what appeared to be an area where some robes and weapons and oil lanterns were being stored. Those that matched the description of the weapons used for the Lantern Ghost Killer, as well as the distinctive lantern light that comes from those that were lucky enough to survive encounters with them. This should be enough to bring in as evidence and put this to rest. But in the meantime, we will be watching very closely to see if any more of these murders arise. And if they do, well, Glum, you'll be working with me, and we'll figure out some way that you can make up for it. I will likely be calling on your friends as well. Here, take a look at this. And she passes you a stack of paperwork. And then passes you a... she's kind of holding another smaller folded piece of paper at her side. And kind of gestures at the paperwork. Once you've read through that, I can give you this if you agree to the terms. This letter will guarantee that your friends will be brought back and healed. All you have to do is, well, why don't you read the paperwork first?
He does. His head kind of moves. He can read quite quickly. He's very physically exaggerated.
Yeah. So you are, what is it? Is it Johnny number 5? What's the robot that like... I forget the name of that robot. But yeah, so you quickly are flicking through the papers, eventually getting to the end. Make an investigation roll for me.
All right. Is my lunch included in there?
Yes, it is, but let's see what else you can find with your investigation. 24, okay. Yeah, this essentially is just a contract setting up that you will work for Thornwell to pay off the debt of resurrecting your 2 friends and healing your friend Rin of the Aboleths. And it does actually list, like, seems that Thornwell recognized that this is something caused by Aboleths. and essentially it's quite a large cost to pay in order to pay for all of this, and there is pretty high interest involved. That as you read through it, you kind of worry that this could end up lasting quite a while to try to pay all this off. And you are also in here. You will be asked to do things for her without question, and to just fulfill the request that any request that she brings to you.
Okay. About what I expected.
So, signing the paper, she smiles and takes that from you and sort of tucks it under her arm, and holding the letter in her hand with a seal on it that matches her symbol, which I can't find it right now, but essentially is... It kind of looks like three triangles. I think it's three triangles that look almost like a mountain. But anyways, she passes that over to you and says to you, if you take this back to where your friends came from, to Saltmarsh, there is a cleric there who owes me a favor. He runs... Sorry. Shoot. I didn't have this. I was not quick enough to have this listed. Here we go. Yes. If you take this to the cleric within Saltmarsh, he goes by Welgar Brinehanded. He's an older human man. He runs a church up on the cliffside above the town. Let's just say that I helped fund his little temple, and he owes me a big favor. So bring this letter to him, and he should be able to bring your friends back. For your friend Rin there, that might be able to be solved by him, but I wouldn't hold your breath on that. You may need to find someone with stronger magic to help her. But as long as you, and she gestures to the pail of water that's been sitting next to her, we'll just assume, Glum, you've been periodically kind of sponging Rin, and indeed as you do, the rash quickly disappears. As long as you keep her submerged in water every 10 minutes or so, douse her in water, she should be okay. I did notice too, as she kind of leans down and squints her eyes looking down at the limp body of Aize, I'm afraid that this one here too has been affected, and you can see that Aize's skin has also turned translucent as well.
Okay, so immediately then I'll gesture to get help to get water on him as well.
Yeah, I mean, you place the water on him, and she kind of chuckles a little. I mean, he's dead. You're welcome to do that. I don't know how much it's going to really help him right now, but...
So
well,
right.
I am so glad that we came to this arrangement. Let's say that once... If you so wish to make sure your friends come back, I'll grant you this. You can head out with them back to Saltmarsh and bring them back if you so choose. But otherwise, I can provide a small escort. They had a ship, correct?
Yeah, this is called the Deidra or something.
The Deidra, okay. Well, I can provide a small escort of guards to the Deidre, and they can be on their way. I'm assuming that there's some sort of first mate or officer on board that can take care of them.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Glum, I look forward to our partnership together. Please do come find me once you've resolved this with your friends.
Just to be clear, the contract is not enacted until all my friends are better. All of them.
Correct.
All right. So what I would like to do is rush back. I'll ask whoever to ensure that Rin stays wet, maybe even put her in some kind of tub. But I'm going to head off, and I want to use my artificer ability to create primarily for Rin, some kind of enclosed casket thing that I can fill with water.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a submersible kind of thing. So I can, something I can fill with water and put like a cap on it. And then just, if I have time, something also for both Aspen and Ize.
Okay. Yeah. You can definitely do that. No problem. So sorry. You're doing this back at your home.
Yeah. So
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll have them to bring. I'll bring Rin with me.
Mm-hmm.
With Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And I will. I think I trust the guards enough to bring Ize and Aspen there.
Okay. So back to your home.
Yeah. So
Okay.
because I don't want any of them out of my sight, because there's bad people at work around here.
Okay.
So, respectfully lay out Ize and Aspen. If there's room on my bed, so be it. That's what it would be. I'll build the kind of enclosed casket for Rin that'll fill water, and then two just because again, so that there's some respect for Ize and Aspen. They have something other than just whatever happens to be on hand on the boat.
Okay, great. Excellent. So as you return back to your home and construct these things, sorry, describe to me again what it is that you're making for them. Is you're making like a tub for them?
So I think because once Ize is brought back, then he's gonna be afflicted. So he will need something that will be identical to Rin's.
Got it. Okay.
And I will go ahead and fill it up with water anyway, just so
Yeah.
there'll be less visual kind of effects.
Yeah. And what does it look like again? Sorry, I was juggling some things.
Yeah, sure. So for Aspen, it'll be pretty much a stereotypical but decent coffin.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And then for Ize and Rin, imagine something kind of pill-shaped with two tabs. They can open up.
Okay.
It closes, but sealed tight, and there'll be like a little knob on top that I can unscrew to fill water in.
Got it. Okay, cool. So a little,
And then it drain in the bottom as well. So like,
got it.
change.
Yeah, so you make these little like almost like sensory deprivation chambers for them to lie in, filled with water. Great. And yeah, you can totally do that as you go back home and start to work feverishly away at these contraptions and building out the coffin for Ize. You complete all that within a matter of hours. By the time you start to come to wrapping up this project, Rin, you have been lying in darkness. Your head, for a while, your head was filled with dark dreams of many eyes and slimy tentacles constricting around you and pulling you down into a deep, deep abyss. You could kind of hear shouts of pain and discomfort and screams that would then start to fade into this sort of warm, soft humming. As you are being pulled deeper and deeper into the abyss, until eventually that humming kind of increased into this frantic, desperate crescendo of a scream, and then it all ceased in an instant, and the dark abyss you were being pulled into, and the cold and the dark and the pressure all ceased in a moment. In that brief period, though, you started to see some sort of shape rising up in the blackness before you, and you felt the intensity of pressure pushing in on your ears and your head and your body, and what you saw was this structure rising up out of the gloom. The only little bit of light that was illuminating it seemed to come in these spurts of light, something off far in the corners and in the distance, these sort of orange glows kind of for a period of time, and then fading, and then another, and then fading. And with each burst of light far off in the distance, you could just see the black shape of what appeared to be a massive, odd-looking ziggurat, this multi-tiered structure rising up in the gloom before you as you were being pulled towards it into the darkness, until eventually that scream cut out and all of the image faded from your memory. You have no idea how much time has passed when you come to. Glum, where is Rin at this moment? You're just finishing up your project of constructing these various devices and coffin for your friends. Where do you imagine Rin is at this moment?
For whatever flat spaces I have in the place, someone would be on the bed, maybe two of them. I would say probably, I know that Aize is pretty skinny, so maybe Aize and Rin are side by side, and then Aspen is somewhere else on the floor.
So Aize and Rin are on the bed, and Aspen's on the floor. So Rin, as you come to, I don't know, how do you come to as your consciousness takes you?
I'm just gonna ask the question of how does she feel physically?
So as you wake up and blink your eyes, the first thing you feel is this kind of. Have you ever used soap that has like peppermint oil in it, or almost like a menthol kind of like, and you know when the air hits your skin, it feels really cold and almost like not quite painful, but there's just that your skin feels really sensitive. When you come to, you kind of have that sensation, but it immediately goes from like a cold chill on your skin to a bright burn as your skin is sort of tingling and burning with the sensation of the air touching it, and you feel very damp.
Yeah, I'm not gonna groan in pain. I'm just gonna describe it.
Yeah.
At first Rin's kind of rubbing her eyes, but like everything is uncomfortable. Like everything she's like touching her own skin is uncomfortable, and just starts groaning in pain, not really looking around quite yet.
As you rub your eyes and pull your hands away, you see these sort of like strands of mucus connecting between your skin and your hands, and you look at your hands and they're just kind of slick and slimy.
Her instinct is to try to rub things off, but
as you do,
kind of grasping at the blanket.
Yeah, as you are kind of rubbing it on the blanket, you see like these, you know, residual marks of mucus on the blanket, and then hold your hand up and you just start to see your dry hand very quickly starting to form mucus as it sort of pools out onto your palm. And in that moment when you wiped your hand clean, it burns. There is a harsh, like, acidic burn on your skin.
Is there anyone here? And I assume she looks over and sees the two lifeless bodies of her friends.
You see Aize's lifeless body lying directly next to you on the bed, and Aspen lying on the floor, lifeless. And then you see Glum in the corner, like feverishly working away. You see like one completed metallic pill like contraption with like a nozzle on top that can fold open and close, and then you see just a plain wooden coffin off to another side, and then Glum is feverishly trying to finish this second metallic pill that he's working on.
Glum,
Huh?
what happened?
You're awake.
And what's happening with me?
You were corrupted by the big fish lady guy. I was never really sure what Skothka was.
Well, I'm fine right now. What the hell's going on? What do I do?
I'm taking you someplace to get fixed. You need to get into the water.
And she's like just at this point not going to hesitate and just kind of trips over the bodies to try to get to it.
Yeah, you tripping over the bodies. You're crawling towards the metal pill contraption.
I go over
Yeah.
and I reach up and help her in.
Yeah, and helping her into it, Rin, you slide into this metallic pill filled with water, and as you slip beneath the surface of the water, instantly you feel relief and comfort as you slide into the water as it touches your skin.
She kind of lies down for a good 2 minutes without saying anything until she finally sits up at the water to look at Glum. Hi.
So, yeah, you remember the part where you almost died?
Yeah.
Well, I came down and I almost died too, but we got away. And then the other Aboleth came in and must have killed Skothka because all those people that were mind controlled, they're not mind controlled anymore. And Scott was able to get Aize and Aspen to safety before that, so we're here. But we're going to Saltmarsh. Everyone's gonna get better. Everybody.
And she kind of just looks over at Aspen and Aize. Well, suppose I should thank you.
No. Saltmarsh needs to thank you for what you've already done.
You didn't even know me that long, but I'm not sure about on land, but I want you to count on me. I owe you my life now.
You don't owe me anything. I'm glad you all came. I wasn't sure why I was in this town. I did want to get revenge for my friend, but didn't really know how that was going to happen. Now it seems like we did something bigger, greater. And you were nice to me.
Of course.
No. You don't owe me anything. Let's get you to Saltmarsh.
All right, Glum. Thank you.
And I put my hand on her face and I push her back down. It's completely he's not really skilled in social graces. He doesn't realize how completely rude that was. And then he closes it, and then goes back to right before I close it, I say, knock if you need anything, and then I close it so it's sealed.
Cool. And as you go back to work on your next bit of your project, we are going to go on a slightly early break here, and we will pick up here as the party gets ready to head off to Saltmarsh, and hopefully, we'll see, get the rest of their friends back. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will be right back. And yeah, we'll see you in about 5 to 10 minutes here. And yeah, hope to see you then. Be right back. Bye. Hey everybody, welcome back. Let's just jump right back into it and see what happens. So we left off with Aize and Aspen dead on the floor. Well, Aize's up in the bed, but Aspen's on the floor. And Rin has woken up, but she is not feeling great as she's being affected by the corruption from the aboleth and needs to submerge herself in water or suffers pain. All right. Let us go straight back into it. So, Glum, Rin, you lie there in this metallic coffin, metallic pill filled with water, and are finding that sense of relief washing over you. Probably starting to drift off, maybe in and out of sleep. It's been a long day. Glum, you are feverishly working off to the side. And Aspen, you are dead, but you, with your background, have something interesting happening in your rest. So, Aspen, as darkness takes you and you kind of lose all sense of self, you're just experiencing sensations as they wash over you. At first, it's just darkness and cold. None of it really seems to stick, though, as one moment comes from the next. It's not like you have a memory, per se. Everything is just immediate. The darkness slowly starts to brighten, and the cold rises into a comfortable warmth as you start to see a vast, almost ocean of sparkling stars stretching out before you, with these tendrils of light far off in the distance, ever so gently moving and undulating. And you can feel yourself moving, feel yourself being pulled in a direction. But this space is so massive, you don't see any change in the environment. You just have that feeling of moving through it. You have no idea how long this lasts for. It could have been a minute, it could have been years. But you start to feel the sense of self returning, that aspect that is Aspen. You start to have flashes of memories from your life on the mortal plane. Is there one key memory, Aspen, that you think would come to you in this moment? Something that is important to you, something that would really stick out amongst the rest?
I think about Shinyar and the morning that she went off with Ulrich. And I think about the night before when she had confessed her feelings for me. And that sticks with me.
Yeah. As you are having that memory wash over you and being filled with all of the emotions that are associated with it, you get the sense of a presence, a presence behind you in this starscape. As you kind of
I turn around.
As you will yourself to turn, you kind of feel your vision getting shifted, and there's this sudden kind of burst of light that fills your vision. And there is what appears to be a silhouette of some shape within this light, kind of elongated, and it starts to clarify into the shape of a humanoid, impossibly large, looming up before you, wreathed in light. As this humanoid drifts forward in the light, you can see a majestic, armored figure, arms kind of resting down at the side, legs sort of in a comfortable drifting position as this massive figure gently glides in your direction, and the details become full. The armor is not terribly ornate, but it is exquisitely made. Full plate armor covering every inch of this figure. Helm covering the face, only the dark slit of the visor visible with the dotted vents along the mask. Everything is sleek and functional and beautifully made. Not an ounce of skin being shown, just a complete and utter armored figure, an armored warrior, broad-shouldered and massive as they gently glide down before you, where they eventually rest with eye level with you, and all you can see filling your vision is just this helm and shoulders, and as you kind of look down, you just see the huge form gently extending off into the starscape below. You hear your father's voice come from the helm. Aspen, my child.
I didn't think you would be the one to come and get me. Well, why are you here?
I've come here to see what path you would like to take. But first, how do you feel now that your time is over on the mortal plane?
I think at that moment, I just sort of, this anger kind of just washes over me in that moment. But then I think back to Ren and Aize and Glum. I just sigh, exasperated. I need to be where my friends are. I don't have time to sit here and just send me back if you can. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to be here with you.
I know you're still angry with me.
That's an understatement.
You don't fully understand what it is that you saw, what it is you were going towards.
And the only way to teach me, a lesson was to take my wings away and send me to the mortal realm. A little bit, just...
Do you not realize that your life down there on the mortal realm is merely but a blink for us up here? I knew you would be returning back to us, child. I needed you to have time to yourself, time to learn, time to feel what these people feel. I know you admire your mother, but if she had her way, all of those people you care for, they would be brought under her boot. They would be subjected. They would be used as tools. She does not care for them. They are merely a tool, something to be used. How does that make you feel if Chenyar, Aize, Volric, Rin were to be thrown into the fires of hell merely to be eaten up and lost for eternity?
I would never let that happen.
I know. You can go back, but once you are completed with this quest you are on, to rid the world of Tharizdun, you will pass, and you will have the choice to return to me or fade off into some other plane. But you will not be allowed to join your mother. There's a sudden flash of fiery orange light to your right. And a massive porcelain-faced woman, piercing, burning red eyes, dark makeup around the eye line that almost looks like dried blood extending down the cheeks as her face pushes into this space. Aspen! And she looks off to the side at this massive helmed figure. Lovely to see you, my dear. The armored figure just stares off in the direction of the face.
Mom, what are you doing here? And I just kind of, I'm sorry. I think in that moment you just see like Aspen revert into like this childish like form where she's just caught between both of her parents. Caught in the argument between both of her parents. And she's just like looking back and forth.
Yeah. As Aspen's now kind of forming into an ethereal shape of Aspen, there's the features that are present. None of the sort of clothing or armor, anything that you had in life, just you and your pure form sort of drifting there in this space, looking between these two figures. And we can see Aspen's form almost physically shrinking smaller in this moment. The face of Zariel looks back in your direction. Oh. Well, I suddenly felt our connection severed. And as I reached out, I saw what your father was doing. Listen, I can also send you back. And yes, there will be strings attached. But you'll be with me. You'll be with me for eternity. Imagine what we can do together, Aspen. And your father's deal. It's so short. It's so short-sighted. It's so less interesting. I would let you live your full life, Aspen, on the mortal plane. And I would be with you the whole time. I could give you more power. I could guide you. I could teach you things. And then, when your body finally gives out, you'll be back with me. What do you say, dear? And she settles her gaze on you, and you can see now the helmed form of Torm and the porcelain face of your mother gently floating there in this liminal space, staring you down, waiting expectantly.
My friends, and I kind of looked to my mother, registering with what my father said. Would you hurt them if I choose to come with you?
Why would I hurt your friends?
Because they have nothing to offer you. And, well, we know how you deal with people like that.
As long as they don't get in my way, I wouldn't hurt them. They can... Oh, Aspen, these friends of yours, they're so short-lived. Please try to think of the perspective from the amount of time that we have before us is endless. Your friends, they are but an insignificant blip on the timeline that we have together. I know you care for them now, and they can bring you much joy. They can be very useful. But they will eventually perish. And if they do not choose our way, I'm afraid you will never see them again. If they do choose our way, and they choose to come with us, why, they would have quite a head start in the hells. I would be willing to promote them quickly.
Well, I think at that point I turned to my father. And if I choose you, will you protect my friends?
I will continue to lend you my power. And it will be your choice whether to protect them or not. Perhaps one day, if you go down my path further, I may be able to provide you more aid that is more direct.
At that point, I turned to my mother. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm gonna choose my dad. I'm going with him. When this is all over and when Thera's Dune is dealt with, I want to go home.
But Aspen, I've given you so much. How can you do this to me?
My friends are the most important people to me.
Then show them the way, and they can come with us. You would get your entire life ahead of you if you just come with me. I will let you live your full life. You will have so much time with them to convert them. Do you not understand what it is that I'm doing? Your father and his kin, they sit up there on the celestial plane and they do nothing. They do nothing. While the demons of the abyss pour through, we hold the line. If we were not there, they would consume everything. They want us to tear each other apart. They just sit back and wait, doing nothing. Is that who you really want to ally yourself with?
No, I don't. But one day, hopefully, we can change whatever's going on in Mount Celestia. And change doesn't happen overnight.
As she starts to let out a scream, her face kind of pulls in on itself and disappears in a flash of fiery light, leaving behind your father and an echoing shriek of your mother. Your father turns to face you. Very well. I can extend one more favor to you. I could bring back your friend. But he would have to follow through with the same offer. Once Tharizdun has perished from your world, his body would fail him, and he would go to whatever higher plane calls him. Now, he would need to be willing, of course. I could call his soul to us now, should you think that he would take the offer.
Yes.
Very well. There's a moment as you drift there in this space, waiting with anticipation. Aize, in your final moments, as darkness takes you and your memories flash before you, what is one key memory you think that stands out and sticks with you as everything is passing through your consciousness?
Sitting in a cafe in Alagon, the capital of Tamish, with my instructor as he hands me my first library card and says, "Lunch is on me," and it's Farouk.
Amazing.
Lunch is on me. You're a librarian now.
And I think he gives you a knowing nod as you accept the card. And Aize, as you accept the card and feel the memories starting to wash over you, you suddenly get this sensation of immense movement and see darkness take you, and then a starscape burst out before you with bands of slowly moving light far off in the distance, and then a sudden burst of bright light and this shape, this massive, impossibly large armored form drifting up before you and consuming your vision. And then you get the sense of a presence next to you, and see this sort of sparkling purple ethereal shape of Aspen drifting there in the space before you.
I'm not going to hell! No way!
As you shout
out! What have you done, devil child? I look at Aspen, and I look back at the armored guy and said, "You can get lost, all right? I want no part of you."
That's my dad. I use it. That's Torm. My mother just left.
Oh, I'm very embarrassed. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry.
I just I bow and apologize for him too.
Aiza, you see a very slight head nod from the figure, which feels like almost like a large hill moving in your vision, and then back up as the helmed form looks at you. This booming, deep voice washes over you. Aize,
Ah, yes.
I have brought you here to offer you a second chance, but it will come at a cost.
No.
Would you like to hear it?
Oh, all right, fine. I'm sorry. I was mentally conditioning myself to talk to her mother. I'm sorry. Sorry.
No
Please continue.
apologies necessary. I could offer you this second chance, albeit it would be likely very short. Once you and my daughter complete this quest to rid the world of Tharizdun, your body will come to an end, and your soul will return to whatever plane calls you.
Is there another option? You know, one where I get brought back and I don't have to die right after the quest is...
Oh well, my mother was here. You should have took her offer.
No, I will never take your mother's offer, right?
Well,
Never, never, never.
You are welcome to put your faith in your friends and see if they have the means to bring you back. I cannot tell you whether this will happen or not.
Well, it's entirely likely that we all died, every one of us. That stupid, tentacled, monstrous, twisted, laughing git got us all. Hey, one moment, please. I'd like to have a consultation with my friend here, if that's all right, sir.
Of course. And
Yeah.
the figure, the giant form, slowly turns its massive back on you.
So your dad doesn't do knock-knock jokes, I take it, huh?
no. If only Glum was here, I think he would find his sense of humor amazing.
Probably. Did you take the offer?
I did.
Fine. No,
You don't have to take it, Ayuze. I've always wanted to go home, but you have a long life ahead of you, so you don't have to do what I do.
But what if we all died? The whole group, Rin and Glum, you, me. I mean, if we're all dead, then there's no chance of stopping this. We have to go back. We have to go back. We have to go back.
And I kind of, at that moment, I just call out to my dad. Can we see if our friends are still alive? Can you tell us? Can you let us know anything?
Nah, I don't think God's work that way. It's all right. No, it's all right. It's all right. The light that burns brightest burns for the shortest amount of time. And I have archives, so everything that I've done will be recorded. And I've already, I mean, the moment that tentacled monstrosity killed me, I was pretty sure that I would be ending up in, you know, in the bosom of Joachim, or in the fuzzy paws of Nabanian, or the fuzzy bosom of Nabanian and Joachim.
Well,
That would be odd, though, wouldn't it?
yes, a little bit, but you know, wherever you want to go at the end of your life.
All right, we're done talking. I'll take the offer.
The form shifts back to face you.
I must say, I revere the gods. I'm a very, very, pious man. But you're more the warrior type. I didn't think you'd pay any attention to me. I understand this is nepotism, but still.
The figure stares at you in silence.
I'm sure you have a good use for a book, maybe a large one, to smack things, but otherwise.
The massive gauntleted hand raises up before you, extends the finger down, and with a gentle flick, you feel the two of you get rocketed backwards as the figure disappears into the distance. The stars, you see them moving. You are moving at such an immense speed. And all of those memories that you had once more flash through your mind until eventually you feel hard ground under you. One moment. Glum, you have just finished constructing the final bolt on the second metallic pill. When Aspen and Aize, what is the first thing you do when you come to consciousness?
Oh, what I do?
Yeah.
I jerk upright, stare at Glum, and say, "Brains."
And what about...
I throw my hands up and I run out the door.
Glum goes running out the door. Aspen, you hear little pitter-patter of boots as Glum goes running past, and you blink your eyes and see that you're lying on the floor in Glum's apartment. What do you do, Aspen?
I just look around. Am I in a coffin? What's it? And I sit up.
And you sit up from within the coffin, looking about. You see Aize sitting there on the bed. Aize, as you manage to muster out that joke and you're kind of lying there on the bed, you start to feel your skin itch and burn and become cold.
Oh, come on.
And looking down, you see the skin is translucent. There is mucus sort of secreting from the pores.
I look for water.
You see this pill-shaped canister that Glum just finished constructing, and next to it there's like a couple of buckets of water that haven't been poured into it yet.
Cantrips don't cost spell slots. I think I have that one. Hang on.
Do you have what is it, shape water?
Yeah, I have shape water. I think I can. Can I?
Can you create water with shape water? I think you can only control it, right? Like very...
Move, form into simple shapes, change color, freeze. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I grab a bucket and I dump it on myself.
Immediately you feel better. Glum.
Yellow. Glum, I'm kidding. I don't want your brains.
I poke my head sideways through the door. You're supposed to be dead.
It's a long story. Aspen can tell you. It's more about her family. Dunking out a bucket of water.
Okay.
Then
I'll look for Rand.
Then I'll use a shape water cantrip, and I'll make the water form kind of like a suit around me.
Oh, cool, yeah. So there's just this kind of constant shimmer of water around Aize.
But how are you back? Did you make a deal with the devil or something?
I look at Aspen.
Not a devil per se, but he made a deal. And I look for, I stop talking and I look for Ren.
Ren, you hear the voices from within the pill. What do you do?
You kind of, so you, after you've sit up in your coffin and you've taken in your surroundings and you notice that two of them look different than yours, you just see one pop open and a very damp and very odd looking Ren sits up and just kind of pushes the wet hair out of her face. Oh, everyone's awake now.
Hold on. Why am I on the floor?
There wasn't room for all of you.
To be fair, you were dead, so...
So was he. Can I just point out you that?
If you, she holds up her hand. If you can't tell, there's a bit of a special case with us, it looks like.
Oh, what? Okay, and can I go over and do like a medicine check?
Yeah, make a medicine check.
I'm trying to determine if this is like a disease or something.
Mm-hmm.
16.
Yeah. So, hmm. I think there is kind of a flash in your mind, almost of a memory that isn't yours, as though you've been granted this knowledge. This is kind of a disease. It is a very late stage of what happens to a creature when it comes into direct contact with aboleth slime, specifically the slime that is secreted from the tentacles. If a creature comes into contact with this slime and is unable to resist it, within 1 minute they become afflicted by this disease, which forces a creature to have to be underwater, or at least, damp and wet. Within 10 minutes, the creature will start to feel severe pain if their skin dries out, to the point where it could kill them after some time. You also know that the only way to cure this is with either a heal spell or a spell that does disease curing cast at a 6th level or higher. This is a very difficult thing to remove.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that's a
been
little too
taking-
high for me.
I see Aspen taking a close look at my slightly translucent skin.
I'm poking you for sure.
Yes. Assuming you don't know much or help.
Well,
Oh,
sorry. I have something that can cure diseases, but not high enough level to get both of you.
first thing first. Glum, Rin, could you tell us what happened? I mean, the last thing I remember was that giggling monster ending me. Oh, archive.
Yeah, the book comes to life and wow. Hello.
Oh, it's so happy to see you, archive.
I'm happy to see you too. Everything just kind of stopped.
Yeah, I didn't have to re-enchant you on someone. Yeah, interesting. I wink at Aspen. That's all right. Anyhow, Glum, you want to share with us what happened afterwards?
Well,
Rin, could you share with us what happened afterwards? I believe Aspen and I were indisposed.
Well, when I awoke, it seems that Glum was the only survivor. And then I just gestured to Glum to continue.
well, we had to get you out alive, and we did. And then the other aboleth came and killed Skothka. That's what happened.
We need Nathan, do we have any of the standard raised dead negatives? Like we require 4 days to recover, or -4 and everything, or did
No.
all right. We need to go back to the lair.
Right now, we didn't.
Can I have a day, at least?
I don't suppose not. I mean, like, it all depends on when Scarron hatches, from your description, anyway. Scarron's in there, still. I'm assuming Glum shared everything with us.
I told you I just told you.
Oh, well, all right, then I have no idea. Did you see Scarron in there?
I didn't, right?
No. But if we want to, I mean, Glum, would you recap the group on everything that happened, or would you withhold any information?
He's trying to kind of undercut the amazing heroics that he did. So, but when pressed, he will explain what happened.
Got it. So after
Details matter.
after some time of kind of prying it out of Glum, you get the full story of what happened, and all of you are up to date on everything that has transpired.
My guess is that Scarron is in one of those pods. Slowly being transformed into a tentacle monster.
Well, that's not good.
Well, it's up to y'all, but we did promise that we were gonna go bring him back to justice. And Erlith is dead.
Yes.
Well, 2 of you are still corrupted. We need to get that fixed. Aspen, you're saying you can do it yourself?
If I had a scroll, maybe, but I can't do it right now.
I can take care of Ren and I as far as keeping dampened. It's an underwater lair, so I mean, sure, we could rest a day and then go back.
Well, we also have friends that might help. Be helpful.
Normal people might be there already.
Nathan, I think I test out my warlock powers at this point. You are muted.
Which power?
I don't have any spells, so all I have is Eldritch Blast and I guess Pact of the Blade.
Okay.
I try to create a pact weapon.
Okay. You go to create your pact weapon, and nothing happens.
What's wrong?
My mother's mad at me. And she's punishing me by taking away my powers.
Oh no, that's terrible.
It is. I no longer have a weapon. So
I dig around and I pull out my +1 dagger and I hold it out to her.
thanks. Thank you.
I usually only use it to cut cheese, but I imagine you would have a better use for it. It's magic.
Okay. And I just take the dagger from it.
All right, I give Aspen my +1 dagger.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, go ahead, Glum.
Well, I have papers here. They're gonna get you both healed up. We should go to Saltmarsh, make sure you're all better. That's what matters.
Aize, though we are going to be underwater, I hope it won't surprise you that I want to see if there's something that could be done about this condition.
I promised Keladak that I would do everything possible to deliver Scarron to him. I believe I mentioned that before. If the group or the captain and the group objected, then we would deliver Scarron to the authorities for his crimes, assassination and such alike. I just don't feel comfortable. Well, whatever, I'll go with the flow. But really, I gesture with my arms as I'm covered with water and restoring my cantrip. This is an inconvenience, Ren. It's not really terrible. I mean, sure, we could sort of. I mean, what's a day? Is all I'm saying.
A lot
Actually,
can
all we for spells is. Did we have a long rest, or are we?
No, you don't have the negative effects of Raise Dead, but you don't have your spells back. You still need to do long rest and all that.
Right. I mean, sleep for 8 hours. Pop over to the building. I mean, assuming that we cleared the place out, then it's just a matter of going into the room where those pods are and opening them until we find Scarron. Tie him up, get the hell out. That's it.
If that's what you want.
Or we could travel to Saltmarsh. How long will that take?
I think it was a couple days.
2 days to Saltmarsh, probably another 2 days messing around there. Or who knows how long. And then another 2 weeks. In 6 days, I don't know how long it takes for those pods to gestate. But we know for sure that. Actually, we don't know for sure how long Scarron would have been in there. Although I'm making an assumption here. I could be wrong. It's entirely possible that one of those monsters that we killed was Scarron, but somehow I don't think so. But Ren, if you want to go to Saltmarsh and see about our skin condition, I'm fine with that.
Well, if we're losing time, I don't really know what else there is. Glum,
I just want you all to be better. You're not better right now.
is the only option in Saltmarsh.
Unless Aspa can do it, yes. Thornwall gave me these papers. They'll pay for and ensure that you're both brought back. We're gonna bring you back to life too, but I guess you had some other plans. He looks at Aspen and sees she's kind of exasperated and kind of has a look of sympathy, like he realizes something bad happened.
Can I see those papers? And I take them and I just read them over.
So it's the sealed letter. So if you want to pop it open and read it, you can. The contract is back with Thornwell.
Yeah.
If you want to pop open the letter, you can read it.
If it's closed, yeah, no, if it's closed, I hold it up then. In that
Okay.
case, if it's closed.
Yeah. Holds it up.
I expect it to be open by the healer.
What did you have to do to get whatever's in this envelope?
Oh, just semi-permanent indentured servant. That's all.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, did you say you were going to become an indentured server?
Indentured servant, yeah.
Servant.
I would owe them.
Who are we speaking? Who are you owing?
Cornwall.
Oh, that lady.
The symbol on the wax. I think Aize, you probably recognize it. It's 3 jagged peaks that are rising against kind of like what looks to be a sky. It's all monochrome because it's wax, but there's kind of that line that indicates the horizon with the 3 jagged peaks rising above it.
I'll root around in my pouch and I'll pull up the silver seal that we found in the Sahagin lair and see if it matches.
It matches the one on the. I believe it was a goblet that you have. I think with it on it, or was it a ring?
It was a ring.
Ring. It matches. The only difference being the ring, has color on it. So the peaks are red and the sky is like a dark blue. But this wax seal is just like a monochrome version of that.
I think we can get you out of that. We found this a while back and it belonged to a noble in Thornhold. But we found it in a bad place. I'm thinking maybe she'll find it in the kindness of her heart, or at least to cut down on your time if we give this to her. Just a thought. Otherwise, you needn't worry, little brother. I would be more than happy to take on part of your burden. Only to shorten your time of indentureship.
No,
Yes.
I think this is the thing that's right. Saltmarsh still needs help. The story's not over.
Yeah, maybe so, but you only did this because we died. And I only speak for myself. I don't feel comfortable with you having to. Well, I appreciate what you did, and I will not diminish it, but I will do everything possible to get you out of it.
Just come back
As
and visit
will I.
me. Come back and visit me. I can get you free lunch.
Yes, I mean, just make sure that you're putting on a show.
Of course. There'll be lunchtime comedy every day.
Anyhow, let's head to the Diora.
And he kind of furrows his brows kind of evilly. He says, every day.
And as Glum says that, and Aize offers for everybody to go to the Diora, you all are welcome to finish out your day wherever you want to be and get a long rest. Nothing accosts you in the long rest period. Aize and Rin, you do have somewhat uncomfortable rest being afflicted by this condition. Aize, I'm not sure you can necessarily keep the spell up while you're sleeping, so you'll probably have to use Glum's pod in order
I'll sleep in
to.
the pod.
Yeah. And yeah.
Or, I mean, I still have the. No, I don't. Crap. The water breathing. Oh no, I can ritual cast it. All right, open up archive. I'll ritual cast water breathing on myself and Rin.
Uh-huh.
And say good night.
Amazing. And yeah, Aspen, you. Yeah.
I think I head back to the captain's quarters and I get out some parchment, ink and a pen and a quill, and I kind of just start writing different letters.
Okay.
I'm gonna make one for Shinyar, Shifty, Larissa, and I think that's it.
Okay, yeah. So as you stay up late writing out these various letters to your to important people in your life, and Glum, do you go to the Diora with them or do you stay in your apartment?
Well, so I kind of missed what their plan is tomorrow.
I was gonna get to that. I was gonna double check with everybody once we get to the next day.
Don't worry about Scarin. I'll take care of it. Let's just head straight to Saltmarsh.
Yeah,
I have-
I'll go back with them.
You'll go where, Glum?
I'll go with them to the
To the
ship.
Diora. Okay. So you all retire for the evening. Glum, you find yourself in the guest quarters, I suppose, and settle down for the evening. Or no, you find yourself in a chamber that. What would Volric have left behind in his chamber?
Oh, in his chamber? What would he have left? It would have been interesting.
I mean, if anything, maybe it was nothing, but I just thought it'd be funny if there's one little trinket or something left behind in the chamber.
Nothing funny or interesting comes to mind. So yeah, it's probably not a whole lot.
Okay, so it's an incredibly bare chamber with
Yeah.
with nothing in it, but you find yourself drifting off to sleep. And yeah, Aspen, you this evening. It's odd. There's no. I mean, it's not necessarily odd. This happens to plenty of people, but I mean, there's no real sense of dreams. There's nothing that really occurs. You just kind of feel yourself drift into sleep, and then the next moment you open your eyes and it's morning. As you all come to the next morning. Yes, Aize.
I'd just like a moment, like as soon as I wake up and I do the morning ablutions.
Yeah.
Of, putting we're on the Diora, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna go back to sleep, and I'm gonna cast a dream spell.
Okay. You cast Dream on yourself, and what are you doing with Dream?
I'm contacting Vizguli.
Okay, yeah. Reaching out with the Dream, you...
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't want to take up the other player's time, though. That's why I said I was going to do it, because you were about to say something.
Yeah, I mean, we can do this quick. You find yourself in an odd, like...
Oh, no, I craft the location, right?
Oh, you do? Yeah, what is the location?
I will do it under the sea.
Yeah.
And, there's corals, and I don't want him to feel totally uncomfortable. There's coral, and there's seaweed, and there's bits of chum in the water if he gets hungry.
Okay.
And I'll sit inside a giant oyster, and he'll be nearby, and the oyster opens.
Okay.
And
So you craft this environment, and you kind of feel it growing before you, and sort of see it almost like watercolor spread out before you, and then the oyster closes. But as the oyster opens up to reveal Viskulig there, the environment is off. It is what you crafted, but there's weirdness about it. It's just slightly off. Like the tendrils of seaweed seem to be longer than they should and almost have a mind of their own, kind of reaching out towards you and sort of brushing against you. All of the fish are strange, with bulbous shapes and kind of flabby, squishy bodies, and some have multiple eyes. It's just, everything's a little weird. Even though you're in control of this dream, there's still a strong presence kind of shifting it ever so slightly. And you see the aboleth drifting there look up at you. Oh, Isaiah.
You're so weird. Oh my goodness. I mean, even entering into your mind is a freakish and weird experience, you benthic monster. Well, just wanted to say thank you.
Oh no, thank you. You softened up Skothka for me.
Yes, that goes to the other part. How thankful are you?
I fulfilled my end of the bargain.
Yes, you did. However,
Yes.
I need a favor.
More deals.
Did not the last deal work out?
Indeed.
Or would you prefer to end up like your brother, sister, whatever that thing was? I mean,
What is it that you want?
I want you to retrieve something from Skothka's lair. Someone.
You feel, even in this dream state, you feel kind of that presence sort of like pressing on your
Right.
mind as you're communicating, and suddenly Viskulig goes,
Oh, yes, that one.
Oh, I see. Yes, that one.
You just want me to retrieve them for you. That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah, sure. Scarron, if you can find him, bring him to the Diora. We're heading towards Saltmarsh, and let me know what you want in return. I mean, come on. We have a wonderful working relationship here. And, I have no doubt that, given the opportunity, you'd probably want to slam me up and enslave me and such like. But from previous encounters that that's not going to go well. So there's no reason for us not to be civil. And honestly, you know how much I love talking to monsters. Just...
I want you.
Pardon?
I want you to find
Oh,
A map. I want you to study it closely, and I want you to give me the knowledge on how to enter the Sea of Stars.
study it closely and give you. Where the hell is this map? Probably on land, I take it. Otherwise,
You can find it, I don't care. I just want to know how to get into the Sea of Stars.
what's in the Sea of Stars?
You know that the Sea of Stars, unless I'm mistaken, maybe I'm misremembering the name of it. Hold on, let me double check. I probably, maybe I said the wrong name. I thought I said the right name. Oh, Sea of Fallen Stars. The Sea of Fallen Stars is the inland sea that Termish, Thay, you know,
Yeah, I know where that is.
yeah.
Yeah.
He basically wants a route. He wants to know a route to get into the Sea of Stars, like a water route to get into the Sea of Stars.
If I get strong enough, I could teleport you there.
Oh, that would be lovely, but I would need to know a way out.
Ah, all right. I'll see what I can do.
Give me this route, and I will be very happy to give you Scarin. I'll follow the Diora along the way, and when the time is right, I will give you Scarin.
No, I kind of need Scarin up front.
I need my end of the bargain fulfilled.
Yeah, but you know me. You poked around in my head. I never.
Give me a piece of collateral then.
Fine. What do you want?
What do you have?
Something.
Something important.
No, you already gave away the wand. Let me think.
Why don't I hold on to your friend for a bit?
What friend?
Archive.
Let me think. You can pry him from my cold dead hands. Let me see.
You have a bag of holding, right?
I do.
Give me your bag of holding.
I have to ask permission from the group. It's not mine technically. It's the group's. And I won't steal from them. Let's see, I got a Pearl of Power. Nope.
That. Give me that.
A Pearl of Power?
Yes, and then you get Scarin.
Oh.
Come now.
Here's the bag.
Here's the bag.
All right. How about this? Bring Scarin up to. Just go get him. Bring him to the boat. I'll talk to the group, and you'll either get a Pearl of Power or a bag of holding as collateral. How's that?
Perfect.
And
All right.
the
You grab a heart Biden, and I hold my hand out to him in the dream.
a slimy tentacle wraps around your hand and squeezes.
I shake.
All right, excellent. The deal is made, and not to take up too much more time here. So you all, we can kind of montage the rest of this. So you all wake up on the Diora, you get a long rest. The plan, if I understand it correctly, is you want to sail back north to Saltmarsh, and go find this cleric to get everyone cured, right?
Yes. But before we head out, I would like to go to Thornhill, or
Thornwell?
Thornwell. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And I take the letter
Mhm.
that Glum had, and I kind of stick it in my cloak.
Okay.
And when I get there, I like knock on the door, and I kind of just wait.
Okay, I mean, yeah, so you approach the tower, the guards let you in, you are taken into the foyer like everyone else, and you have to wait in the foyer until eventually she comes down to greet you.
Hi, I just came to bring you back this contract, since it's void. We are alive, we did not go to Saltmarsh, so you will not be taking Glum.
I believe the contract was for you to be brought back to life, and then he works for me. It looks like he found a way to do it quicker. Wonderful. He can start working for me sooner.
No. That's not gonna happen
And why is that?
because Glum already works for me. He is my bosun, and you can't have him. You
Oh.
stated in your contract that he had to take us to Saltmarsh, and as I look around, we are still here in Thornhold.
You saw the contract.
I did.
I have it here. I'm not sure how you saw it.
Oh, well, may I see it then? Since you're so confident.
Sure. She'll bring it out and let you look through it. Go ahead and make an investigation roll for me.
It's probably gonna be really bad. 19.
19. It looks pretty solid. It. You might be able to get her to drop it, but you're gonna have to really push either, not to drag this out, either in a persuasive way or an intimidating way. You might be able to get her to bend, but reading through it, it looks pretty solid. There's maybe one area that you could argue against, but
I will press that area.
okay. Are you going for? Are you?
I will try to be persuasive.
Okay. I don't know exactly what the contract says because I am not good. I don't write contracts, but we'll say that there is one area that there's probably a loophole in there that you could press on. So you want to go with the persuasive route. Okay, go ahead and make a persuasion roll as you start to argue over the contract with Thornwell.
Come on, that's 20.
13.
Can I? I don't like that roll, so I'm
Okay.
gonna use my magical guidance to roll that again.
Okay,
Take
what
off
is
that
what is
50
this one?
points.
Is this the like god? favored by the gods, or-
No. This one is I can spend a sorcery point to re-roll a d20, and I must use the new roll.
Okay, go for it.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We need glow. Okay, that's better. 18.
18. She is dead set on this contract is official. It's everything's there. She doesn't buy your argument and essentially says, if you want to take him, this is gonna get nasty.
Listen, I would rather not get nasty, but we know things that you don't want the public of Thornhold to know. And if it just so happens to get out, that would be bad for your city, seeing as you are a council member. And
What things exactly do you have on me?
you would like to know that, wouldn't you? Now, why would I give my secrets up if you wouldn't give yours up?
I don't. I get empty threats all the time. If you have nothing substantial in front of you, I will call your bluff.
Oh,
So, go
Okay.
ahead. Go and report your findings to the city. I'm sure everyone will be goody two-shoes about it and come running and push me out of office. I've been here for years, for generations. My family has been here for generations. You ain't got shit. Now leave.
this isn't over, and you won't have Glum.
Okay. Aspen, are you? I mean, this is essentially.
I'm gonna leave. Yeah, I don't even let the
Like,
guards touch me.
You can. I will give you this. If you want, you can make one final intimidation roll, but this is going to be essentially like a nat 20 to push her.
It's not gonna be good. I know it. 18.
No. Yeah, the guards are starting to push in. They are starting to like fully grab onto their arms and looking like they're kind of tense, waiting to see what happens. And you see that Thornwell as well is kind of building a little bit of energy between her fingers.
I do want to mention that I still have the contract in my hand, and I'm taking this. I'm taking it with me.
You're gonna take
And I will-
the contract?
I'm taking a contract and I'm booking it.
You're gonna run?
I'm gonna, but I mean, haul.
I mean, there are guards at the front door. Like, they step in front of your way. You can try to...
I Misty step right behind him.
Okay.
And I'm out the door.
Counterspell from Thornwell. She counterspells you. Misty Step.
Oh, okay.
'Cause-
I rip it up. I rip it up. I rip it up.
You rip it up!
I rip it up. It is what it is.
Okay, you rip it up, and she just kind of
Oh,
huffs and
God.
looks at you.
Oops, sorry. I'm so clumsy.
All right.
Was that the only contract you had?
Of course not. I have copies. Are you going to
Oh,
leave
I would
or
hate
keep
to-
making a scene? And she's gesturing as more guards are spilling down and like surrounding you.
I kind of assess her house for a minute. Is her house made of like wood? Or
No, this
stone?
is like
What
a
kind of-
stone tower. You're in a big
Hmm.
stone foyer.
Okay. And I'll leave.
Okay. You are very much escorted out of the building and out onto the street and very abruptly shoved out onto the stone cobblestone way. And yeah. If there's anything else that anybody wants to try to do in Thornhold before you leave, I think we will... Yes, Aize.
Aspen, do you tell us what you did?
Yeah. When I get back to the ship, I'm just kind of like huffing and puffing. And I'm like, she has to die. She has to go.
I hold up the ring. You could have just taken this.
What is that?
It's the seal ring for her family.
Oh, why was she... Oh man, maybe I should have told you my plan before I went.
Well, I was gonna give it to you and have you do the talking because, you know, I stink at that. And convince her to, you know. well,
Actually,
you could have no. Rin. Yes. So, let's just go to South Marsh, and then we're gonna be coming back here anyway to pick up my lobster. And after everybody gets healed, and we're gonna get Glum out of his contract. Only this time, I hand the ring to Aspen. Go talk to her. Take
she
this
has to
book.
die now. I don't know. She
Oh,
has
devil
to
child. No.
She has to go. I already lost one thing. She has to go. I'm not losing Glum.
Well, offer the ring up to her and tell her that, you know, we found it and belongs to a long lost relative of hers probably, and say, if this is of value to you, how about we trade this for Glum? Or the contract.
Okay. Yeah.
You can be very convincing, you know, when the little halo pops.
I didn't feel it today, you know? I didn't feel very convincing at all.
You've been dead, so I think
I
that kind
have
of
been.
messes with your mind, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We have
I'm all over the
making
place at the
us
moment.
stress and death.
Yes. And I look to Glum. I kind of just pat his head. I'm sorry. I tried to run. I tried to take the contract, but of course she has more.
I'm not
Oh,
sure
yeah.
what point I would have known what's going on because you were gone and then came back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I say, all that matters is that my friends are all back. But you two need to get better.
You're adorable. Oh, by the way, you know that bag of holding we got from Aerolith? Is anyone really attached to it?
I love it. I want it a lot, really badly. We should not give it up.
Why? Why are you asking? Are we making a
Kulik
trade?
wants it as collateral. It gets Scaran.
Why don't we give him what's her face?
Who?
Kill two birds with one stone. Thornwell. Then he can have reign over the city or whatever.
No.
Are we killing birds?
It's a figure.
That's a sensitive topic for me, okay?
I really want the bag of holding. But it's fine if you do. I can give him something else.
We can give him like we give Aerolith, you know?
What?
It's useful. She is. Which reminds me, we also have to recover her body as well. So,
We'll do that if we get the chance. Or actually, I can ask Viskulik to go get her as well, I suppose. Yeah.
is he following? Is he here right now?
No, he's in the waters around. I just contacted him and asked him to go get Scarin out to the lair.
Okay.
I can contact
Well-
him tonight, every night actually, and just drop him a line and say, by the way, could you pick up Erlith's body too? And you're not charging us for that one. But he wants collateral.
Well, if we talk to him again, if anything, we'll give him the bag because I know you need your pearl of power. We don't need a bag. Well, we
The
kind
bag
of
is
do
nice.
though.
But
It is really nice.
we just got it.
Yeah, we really.
Yeah, I didn't even know we had the bag, so I just got here.
It was Erlith's.
Oh,
if you want the
oh.
bag,
But she's not getting much use out of it right now. So, you know,
again,
I
Lum,
guess what is he gonna do with a bag? Actually, he doesn't have hands. like, what
for
is-
storing things, he has 4 tentacles and he's greedy.
Hmm.
He wants to get into the Sea of Stars. The
What is
Sea
that?
Of Stars, and he wants me to give him a route there.
Is that like a talent show?
No, Glum. It's the shore of. It's where Thayer and Termish are, in the middle of the continent. He probably wants to start an Aboleth colony or something nonsense. I don't know, but he said he wants to be able to get out as well. Hey, how do I feel about the Aboleths having a colony in the Sea of Stars? Probably not very good.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
if he gets up to any nastiness in the Sea of Fallen Stars, I'll just kill him. Okay.
So,
Or how to kill.
bag of holding then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Walk
And
over to the edge of the boat,
Yeah.
dangle it.
so and then last bit of thing to clear up here, are you going back to Thornwell with the ring or no?
I think I should go back right now. So
Give her time to
I'll
cook.
wait. I'll wait a couple days.
Okay. So you all load up on the Diora and set out northward. I use if you want to, you dangle the bag over the side of the ship as you start to leave harbor.
Well, I'll send a dream to him and ask him. We'll do the same thing again.
Okay.
This time I'll use a clam instead of an oyster. And I open up and just say, oh, and another thing. Remember Erlith, the person that you're walking on? Oh, hi, by the way, Viskulik. Could you grab her body and bring it as well?
And yeah, he'll agree to that for the bag of holding. You are. It takes about a day to get about halfway there, and then by the midday next day. Actually, let me see. I think it might be. Actually, it really only takes about a day to get to Saltmarsh. So, as you're traveling this day up the coast northward, eventually getting out of the muck and the grime of Thornhold, you eventually find yourself, as the sun dips below the waves far off to the west, you start to see the twinkling lights of Saltmarsh up ahead, and the Diora pulls in to dock. That evening, you reach out to Viskuleg. Viskuleg agrees to the terms, and the next morning comes. Glum, you were informed to seek out this priest at the Temple of Valkur, which is located up on the cliffs, and you find, especially with Rin's help, Rin, you immediately recognize what Glum is talking about. This is the temple that you went up to and met that crusty old kind of sailor priest. And heading up there, Glum, you present the letter to the priest, which, where's his name? The cleric, Welgar Brinehanded. His kind of crusty old sailor face looks at you and kind of opens the letter and reads through it, looks up and smiles. I guess she came knocking, okay. Puts the letter away and kind of waves you all in and takes you past the altar, which is this incredible driftwood sculpture of this almost like Viking-esque warrior, and takes you past the altar into a chamber in the back with all sorts of various material components stored in shelves, and there's one area that's locked up very tight. But he sets you all up in there, and over a period of a couple days, he is able to cast the heal spell on Rin and Aize. In that time, Aize, you are able to make the exchange with the school egg, heading down by the water, probably like very, very late, almost early morning when it's pitch black out, and the creepy tentacles of Fiscule come up out of the water and grab onto the bag of holding, and you hear the voice coming into your head. I'll be returning this to you once you fulfill your end of the bargain. And then the tentacles rise up out of the water and lie down 2 limp bodies at your feet. You see one, the bit rigor mortis and crushed form of Aerolith. It's not great. Her body is not in good condition. And the other body that gets rested at your feet, you see a still breathing, eyes kind of closed, Scarin. His skin is entirely translucent. You can see around where the neckline is. The neck is kind of filling out a bit, like it's a bit fatter, and there are those extra organs of gills starting to form underneath the skin. And one of the hands, the fingers are, you can just barely see the bones underneath, and they seem to have like started to fuse together and become almost gelatinous, and the fingers seem to extend out and are a bit more rubbery and floppy than they should be. But he is partially going through the transformation, but seems unconscious at the moment, albeit breathing.
I'll bring the group with me when we go collect them, and I'll take along, ask Glum if he could bring along one of his coffins. I know that Scarin is partially transformed, or I surmise that he would be partially transformed.
Yeah.
Or anyone in the group that wants to come along with me. I say, I'm gonna go, talk to the Aboleth, and it's not a euphemism. So
I'll go with you.
Oh yeah, actually, sorry. The priest, just to clarify, the priest casts Greater Restoration at a higher level, not heal, but still, having to consume a bunch of diamond dust, he does that spell. And then Aize, you're taking the group down to the water to speak with Fiscule?
No, pick up the bodies.
Oh, to pick up the bodies. Okay, so this exchange would have happened with your companions at your side. Okay, so all of you that are down there. So it sounds like Rin and Aspen, Glum, are you gonna join?
So when they're both healed, he's gonna walk right in the middle of them and kind of wait until he notices they're all standing there.
Mm-hmm.
He looks around. He says, "You're all better now. This is good. And you have Scarin. I'm gonna go now."
Where are you going?
I have to fulfill a contract.
Glum.
We're
No.
going that way anyway, Glum. Like, we're going back to Thornhill.
Oh, I thought
You risked your life. You risked your life to save all of us, and if you think we're gonna sit here and let you work for that woman, absolutely not.
But I need to be in Thornhold anyway.
Why?
I have unresolved business about my friend. I think our story is finished as a team. If you're going back to Thornhold, I'll go with you.
Okay, if that's what you want.
We'll work it out. I just whispered to Aspen, the ring, the ring.
I don't think
And I
you
just whispered back.
He's looking up at everybody.
we
I
have
don't
another
think you.
decision
I don't
to
think
make.
you'll understand. You made me very happy. I've never been happy before.
Well, you should act more like it then, my little friend.
I'm
I am
very
entirely grateful to you. We were very close to ending up as Aboleth food.
well.
May I ask the question now?
Yes.
Do we hand Scarin over to the authorities or to Keladak?
You're asking Glum?
Well, you're part of our crew.
Oh, his opinion. Well, this all happened before I came along. I suppose whatever you think is best.
Well, I want to give him to Keladak. I'll just be honest.
Yeah, I want to give him the Keladak too, as an apology.
Rin?
I also don't know enough to quite know what's in stake here, but if I'm hearing about apologies, that probably
It
is the
was
right thing.
bad. It was bad.
Oh,
We
this was
embarrassed that man.
seducing Keladak and using a whole person on him.
You don't have to get into it.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
so Monday. Okay.
What?
Nothing.
I have days now? Oh wow. I just kind of like get on my knees next to Glum. Is it okay if I hug you, Glum? I don't know if you like that sort of thing.
All right, just remember, I'm taken. I'm married to
Okay.
I'm married to my career as a comedian.
Well, I hope it's long and happy and funny. I think at that point I don't even hug him. I just kind of pat him on the head.
Hey, did you know
Okay.
why a treant makes a good detective? He always gets to the root of the problem.
And with
Really
that, as you all stand there, down by the docks with the body of Scarin and Aeroleth, and Glum says this to you all as you get ready to tackle whatever may come next. We're going to end tonight's session there. Thank you, everybody, for playing tonight. You all did wonderful. And thank you, everybody, for joining us for this show. We will see what happens next week. We should be, I got to figure some things out, but we should be having a guest arriving very soon. So stay tuned for that. Okay. Thank you, and have a lovely evening. Bye.